Hey everybody, Pino back here with you. Are you looking to get into retro gaming but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you're an avid collector and you continue to collect. I myself have collected games throughout the years. I dusted off my collection 3 months ago and been asking myself, where do I want to go with my collection? So, as most of you know, I started gaming at a young age. I got into video games, got into collectible card games, and then over the recent years, into board games. Back in around 2000s, 2002 or so, unfortunately, my video games collection had been robbed from. I lost quite a few games and boxed up a lot of my games. But most recently, I was into some board games, some things that changed, and I've been looking at what other venues I could get back into or start with. Gaming has always been a big part of my life. I've enjoyed a lot of good times, shared a lot of good times, and made a lot of good friends. But as I've gotten back into it, I decided that I would share some of my experiences. I'm a collector of many different games. Magic the Gathering is a big collection I have, and some of you know, I can see on my shelf and in some of my pictures, my board game collection has grown to well over 100 titles, I believe. But most recently, I wanted to get back into gaming. I was playing my PlayStation Portable and some of the games that I picked up over the years that I hadn't played. I got that originally from the store upon release, and I've enjoyed it, and I decided to pick up some games and just sort of to venture out and enjoy the spare moments I have on my breaks at work, or in cracks of time where I can play some portable gaming. I decided to pick up some games. They got me going. I picked up games like the Dual Pack Mega Man Powered Up and Mega Man Maverick Hunter. So I beat that game, at least Maverick Hunter, twice through, once as Mega Man and once as Zero, and I started getting a taste for, hey, I'd like to get maybe some new games. So I started researching to see what was out there, and I thought, hey, maybe it's time to, I'm not ready to get into a PS4, but maybe a PS3. So I started researching some games, and I asked my wife, I was like, babe, I wouldn't mind for Christmas or something like a PlayStation 3. There's just some games I'd like to get into, and I haven't been able to do so, just on my PlayStation Portable. And she said, well, hun, you haven't really played the ones that you have. And I realized, you're right, I have them all packed up. I need to start unboxing them. So one weekend I unboxed a whole bunch. I started hooking them up in the living room, and I had cords everywhere and games everywhere. A lot of my cartridge games I still had, and a lot of my CDs got stolen. But my cartridge games were just everywhere, and getting the consoles hooked up, and the kids were interested, and they wanted to learn about games and who's Mario and who's Sonic, and I was like, man, those are characters that I grew up with as a kid. Those are things that I could totally share with my kid. So I started getting back into collecting, and I decided that my wife and I, we were looking at Craigslist posts and Facebook Marketplace, and just browsing around garage sales, and so we started picking up items. I mean, I picked up the Metal Gear Solid Essential Collection for the PS2. Has the PS1 and the PS3 games in it. And another garage sale, we picked up the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. And so I just started picking things up, and I was like, well, I like playing all these games, and Gran Turismo 4, I never owned that, and I wanted to play that, and I got Extreme Racer Zero. Then I started looking at just thrift stores and the places, and I was picking up titles like Splashdown. Definitely a fun game, something I actually sought out. When I saw it, I was like, that's definitely, I'd like to get that one. But there were games that I was just picking up in bundles, and picking up things like Soul Calibur 3, Need for Speed Underground for the PS2. And I just started picking up games, and I realized, man, I don't have enough time to play these. Well, I shifted gears, and I wanted to get into games for my family. So I picked up a few more deals, and I was like, well, let's pick up some Wii games. some Monster Jam, Ben 10. Some of them were okay titles. I ended up getting Super Mario Galaxy, but been getting a couple good deals here and there, and just been enjoying them. And I realized the more and more that I was collecting games in the last couple months, that I was just sort of haphazardly doing it. And I realized that my focus is I'd like to play enjoyable games, I'd like to complete some games, and I'd like to teach my kids about gaming. So playing Grand Theft Auto with my children, probably not the best title to do that with. So I was like sort of analyzing what I've been doing. And one day my shop owner, she asked me, my local shop here in town, she's like, so what do you collect for? And I said, I don't know what I collect. Anything and everything? I don't think that'd be easy on the wallet. And I got different pickups here and there, and I ended up getting a Wii U. That's sort of in my phase of hitting garage sales and Craigslist. I did really want to seek out a Wii U as much as I wanted a PS3. I even bought some PS3 games, thinking that I would get a PS3 before I got a Wii U, but a Wii U came along, and so I still have those PS3 games, and I do want to hang on to them just because they are some fun titles. They're nothing crazy, but I figured, I'm going to do some collecting, but I want to do some playing, and I want to incorporate my family. So even for the Wii U, I picked up titles like Super Mario Maker, definitely an awesome game. The kids have been hooked into the Mario realm and been enjoying it, and they even like dragging bricks and turtles around and making levels, and then they're just pretty bad levels, and then they put it down. But they've been enjoying a lot of that. But today is September 29th, 2017, and for those of you that do know or don't know, today, the Super NES Classic has launched. I went into work today, and I didn't think that I was going to get one. And that's partly because I own a lot of the titles that are already on there, and I've been enjoying them. So, like most recently, this month, my game has been Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That's on the system. Last month, I beat Super Metroid. This is my Super Famicom version. That's another system that I picked up so I could save a little bit of money. But these are things we'll talk about. Super Metroid, I beat that last month. And then my wife and I, we got together, and the kids have been playing Super Mario World. We beat this, and my wife's a little bit of a completionist, so we took it all the way and found every exit and every hidden spot in the game. But titles that I haven't played in a while, but I still do own, some that I've beaten. Actually, I've beaten all these. So, Secret of Mana, that's on the SNES Classic. Final Fantasy III, also another great game on the SNES Classic. I've beaten this. Zelda, A Link to the Past. I've probably beaten this. Those two in this game, I've probably both beaten them at least 2 or 3 times each growing up. These are games that I've owned for years. I ended up buying Secret of Mana brand new. I still have the map. I think I have the box, but I'm missing the manual. And then last but not least, I have others, but Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country is a great game. When me and my wife were first just dating, this is one of the games that her and I have beaten together. My wife, have been very grateful for her as she stuck with me through all the years. All the Magic cards that I've collected, all the board games that I've collected, and the Super Nintendo games and Nintendo and all the vintage cartridge games of the past. She sticks through it with me, and she enjoys playing from time to time. So I've been a real big supporter. But getting back to the SNES Classic, that came out today, and unfortunately, I was thinking I was not going to get one. And a friend texted me out of nowhere, and she let me know that, hey, she got one. I spoke with her and let her know it was coming out. She got one, and I said, wow, was there a line? It was here in our small town of Prescott, Arizona. And she says, no, dude, would you like me to pick you up one? And I'm like, wow, sure, why not? So I ended up getting one. I won't have it until tomorrow when we meet up after soccer practice. But I was thinking about all these games. Now there's other games on that system that I don't actually own, so I'm going to be excited to play those. But some of these games have been tested, tried and true, and has sort of come full circle in my last 3 months of collecting. Like I said before, where was I? I was haphazardly collecting. I was asked, where do I want to collect? And I decided that family games, games that I can play with my family, but games that I can play on my own too. But I definitely need to make sure that they incorporate my family, and maybe present an opportunity to spend more time with my family. When I am away from my family and I'm playing a game all on my own, do I pick a 100-hour game, or do I pick a game that I can complete in 6 or 7 hours, and enjoy just a little bit of that? So I think the SNES Classic has been a great opportunity for me to pick up some games that I like, that I'd like to play. I do own some. Earthbound is on there. There's Star Fox. There's a few games that I don't own that I would definitely like playing, but there's a few games like Yoshi's Island, Super Mario 2 Yoshi's Island, that really entices me, because that system packs in 2021 games, and they range all sorts of different genres of games. They incorporate a lot of different people. That system has a 2-player port option. It's through HDMI to your new age television, so we can bring it into the living room, and we can throw it up on the flat screen and enjoy quite a bit of that. I will be doing a review, some of the differences between games on the CRT TV, and how the original carts look on there versus the other console. But I've found that one there has a really well-rounded game selection. And it really hits in my target zone. My target zone of games for the family, games that I can enjoy on my own, games that don't take hours upon hours upon hours and months to complete. Sure, Earthbound, I'm probably going to play that through, but it's going to be a while to complete that. As for the other RPGs on there, like Super Mario RPG, I like to play that, but I might not play Final Fantasy 3 quite yet, or Secret of Mana. But it's a perfect console, I think, for what a family is looking for. In fact, my friend that approached me earlier this morning to say, did I want one? She ended up getting one all on her own, and she's not a video game enthusiast. Her family plays, but the children are young, but she wanted to get it because there's games that she remembers playing, games that her husband remembers playing, games that the kids could play. It's such a phenomenal system for that, and I'm excited to get my copy of it. I'll do an unboxing video, maybe a comparison between the SNES and the SNES Classic. But it's been a very interesting 3 months that I've ridden through in collecting, unboxing my games, going from haphazard to more focused and targeted game collection. I've noticed through some other videos and other people out there that one of the biggest things you need to ask yourself is, where am I collecting? What am I doing with it? Do I need to be focused? Or would I like to be a broad, I'll collect anything and everything? Are you a completionist? Do you want to have every SNES title, every Nintendo, every Sega, every TurboGrafx title? That's pretty hefty on the wallet, and as a mega collector, you have to be patient. As a enthusiast that just wants to pick up a few games, the NES Classic that came out last year and the SNES Classic that came out today are perfect for the family, for a person liking to reminisce. It feels comfortable, plays comfortable, looks great, and has everything you need in a small package price. When you look at things like Earthbound, that's a couple $100, so just in the value of the MSRP of like $80 for the SNES Classic, you get an amazing value. But then there's myself, somewhere in between, wanting to become a mega collector and someone who's just a casual button smasher. But I still think it's a system that bridges all of those areas, from the casual to the intermediate to the mega collector. Mega collectors, I know guys are going to get a couple copies. One is going to stay boxed and sealed on their shelf, and the other one they might open up. And there's emulators out there and things like that, but this is going to be a great system. But I really feel that it's great for the channel. It offers opportunity for families to get together to play some retro games that are challenging, fun, exciting for the children, and then a few adult titles, for dad who's really into some role-playing games, or Super Contra 3 Alien Wars, and hasn't played it in 20 years. So that'll be exciting. So those are just some of the things I think about the system, sort of a prequel before I do a review on it. But again, I've been sort of haphazardly, and I've been slowing down and being looking at where I'm going and getting direction. And so if you're out there and you're looking to build a collection, or if you're looking to be an intermediate, or even are currently being a mega collector, there's a lot of choices out there. There's a lot of cash to be burnt, a lot of garage sales to hit, thrift stores to find treasures in. But ultimately, through it all, outside of maybe just the casual player, I think that patience in collecting is so important. That way, you're not going to go onto eBay or go to a garage sale and, well, garage sales are a little different, but maybe not go to a game store and pay full price when you could hunt at a garage sale. When instead of getting it now to get it part of your collection, you can enjoy the games that you own, play them through, beat them like for the very first time, and then you can add to the collection for games that you want to play later. There will be a garage sale, there will be an eBay listing, there will be a Craigslist ad, but you have to sort of cherry pick them, I think, if you're a collector. A lot of the mega collectors will like complete in-box games. Intermediates like myself will just take a loose cartridge if I can get it. But buying a whole bunch of games that you're not going to be able to put a lot of hours into may not be may not be too wise, may not be enjoyable. I mean, these things take up space, they take up time, and they take up money. And if you're not playing them because they're not quality titles, or because they're just, filler, I find that I can enjoy a game that I've owned for well over 20 years much more than I can, a game that I pick up for $3 because it's a good value. Don't get me wrong, I do like the Need for Speed franchise. It's quite a fun franchise. But I forgot that Capcom put out amazing games that have yet to go away and have just become staples in the gaming community. So I wanted to put that out there, just sort of where I've been, where I'm going, and sort of share my understanding of how much it's fun to collect games, yet there's a certain amount of time that needs to be put into it. I've done the same thing with my board game collection, and I've done the same thing with Magic from time to time, where I decide to get sort of an influx of games, and yet I don't have time to bring all those board games to the table, to sleeve up my cards and go to the local F&M. And I've been doing the same thing with my my video games. So I'm taking a step back, I'm slowing down, I'm being a little bit more patient. I'm enjoying the games I have. I'm enjoying the time with my family. It brings laughter. It brings smiles to their face when we get to throw shells around on Mario Kart, or when my kids are trying to jump Mario with the controller. Those are all the things that bring me back to gaming. And my son gets frustrated when he rams into a wall here, but when he plays Super Mario or F-Zero, like those games are so forgiving for the most part, and he enjoys it. My daughter, she's great at running and jumping. Why throw an additional 4 to 6 buttons at her with an advanced controller when she would do fine with just 2 or 4, maybe up to 6 on the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom? They've really been enjoying it over the time, and there's just a lot to be had in video gaming. But I think you have to do it for the right reasons. Enjoy your time with your friends or your family. Enjoy your time if you're a single person, and it's just your thing to wind down at night. Don't pick up a title just because it's inexpensive. Go and spend a few extra bucks, or be a little bit patient and find that gem of a title to play. If you're a modern gamer, by all means, those games are easily found and you can spend quite a bit of money, but you don't need to go out and buy every single one. I am debating doing a full collection of Wii U in the next few years, as I find them at garage sales and things like that. But outside of that, I think the titles that I'll be picking up are going to be more relevant to my family, my gaming time, and my prerogative, so that I don't get overboard, yet I can build a small collection of enjoyment and memories to come. So that's sort of my take on all that. Thank you for sticking with me. Like I said before, I will do maybe some footage of games on a CRT TV, some of the ones I just showed you, versus on a HD TV with the SNES Classic, and maybe go over some of my pros and cons, if there are any, because the system looks pretty rock solid, SNES Classic does. And so we'll just go over that. Please stick with me and stay tuned. If you like my channel, please go ahead and click the like button down below, and just subscribe if you'd like to get any updates from my point of view. I would like to share more of that with you and take any of your questions and just build on the channel. So until next time, make sure to smash buttons, knock elbows, and keep on gaming on. Thanks.